My name is Silvester and I study illustration. My degree show, originally it was based around body language and non-verbal communication. However, through research this has slowly evolved into the sense of touch itself. This brought me down certain avenues such as tactile and haptic qualities and the actual surfaces in which we experience in a day-to-day life. Now, this eventually migrated into various forms of touch and the different areas of our sense of touch. This has now moved on to the emotional side of touch, the biological side of touch, as in how we touch something, the receptors go through our hands to our spine and then our brain, and then finally the physical side of touch. To illustrate this, I generally screen print and print a lot of things in order to create my final piece. Now what I wanted to do is base it around 3 different areas, so the emotional, physical and biological side. So for the emotional, I wanted to create an artist's book. Now this would be using thermochromic inks which are actually heat sensitive. So what happens is when you interact with the book, your actual touch will evolve the 2D print and allow you to see something else which directly feeds off your sense of touch. The biological prints, there'll be a series of 3 and they're going to be showing how the receptors go from your fingers to the spine to the brain. And then finally the physical side of touch, I'm going to be using something called electric ink which is conductive, and that means that when you actually interact with the surface, the print even, then as you touch it, it will make a sound or it can turn on a light, things like that. Well, although I study illustration, I always tend to verge on the graphical side of things. So I'd say first and foremost my biggest influence is Andy Warhol. I know it's very cliche, but he introduced me to screen printing and brought it to the masses, and as I regard myself as a printmaker now, that's who I generally feel is the biggest influence on myself. Apart from that, Stefan Sagmeister and his company, they always have innovative designs and new ways of looking at things, so he's also been a major influence in this project. And finally, the people that I researched to find these thermochromic and conductive inks were a graphic design agency called 2 Points Creative. They used UV ink which reflected the way in which sunlight can affect your skin and burn you, and then represented it through a UV poster which talked about sunscreen and how the sun can burn you. My future plans, I do turn 30 in a couple of weeks, so I am a mature student. I think what I'm going to do is go back to the company that I've worked for many years and gain further experience perhaps in marketing, and then I want to merge the two hopefully. So I'd like to use the skills that I already have, plus the skills that I've learnt at university through illustration, and hopefully make that into some sort of creative opportunity either within the company or somewhere else.